Hello everyone from New York City here at Book Expo 2012. I'm your host Kristen White of Bestselling Celebrity Author TV. And I'm here with Aronoff, and he is here to help us have success in our diets. Thanks, Alan.
Thanks for having me, Kristen.
So what are some of the strategies to have success in a diet?
Well, let's first start with what doesn't work. Because we all try and diet, we all try and balance. Here's the foods I want to eat, and here's what I should eat. And the two reasons that we find that diets don't work for most people is we think is first we just need to make a decision. I'm going to eat this, and then we try and use our self-discipline to stay on the diet. And we all know how self-discipline doesn't really work because there's really no match for these eating habits that we've been just feeding for years. So what we do in diet success strategies is we don't tell people what to eat. There's plenty of books that do that. What we do is we deal with the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that drive our behaviors.
That sounds like it actually can be successful, because I know that trying to have I'm not going to do this, it just doesn't work.
Absolutely. And what we find is the three big ones that really knock people off their track is stress, temptation, and excuses. Everyone starts their diet New Year's Day, of course, and most people start their diet Monday morning, and then something happens and they come to this stress, temptation, or excuses get in the way of it. But there's little strategies that we can use to, in many cases, anticipate those things and then stay on our plan.
So is it important to have the strategies in place ahead of time?
Yeah, that's what we do. We have 67 strategies because different strategies work for different people. So what we recommend, there's actually monthly, weekly, daily, and even hourly strategies. And probably the most important is on a Sunday night to take about 10-15 minutes and kind of look at the week to come and say what strategies are going to work for my week. And then it becomes a 5-minute process each morning to just say, here's kind of what I planned for the day, and now am I going to be on track or do I need to alter that plan?
I think that's really important because, at least I know for myself, like some weeks I'm home and it's calmer and other weeks I'm on the road. I'm traveling and it's a different plan for a different week.
Absolutely, and that's a great point. So travel is a big one. Of course, we have our food at home that we want to eat, our healthy food that we've got from the supermarket. But then when we're traveling, and there's really a couple different things people could do. One is people say, oh, the hell with it, I'm going to go off my plan. But that doesn't work for a lot of people because then it starts them onto this roller coaster where that 1 week travel leads to second, third, fourth week. Other people, what they could do is anticipate and bring little snacks with them. When I travel, what I do is I look at where I'm going to go, and sometimes I'm not planning to rent a car. I don't need to, but I might rent a car or find a hotel that's near a healthy market or something, just so I can go and get some snacks so I can prepare. Other people, if they're going to some company event, they may not want to make their diet a big deal, so that'll be an off meal for them. But then they'll compensate the next meal.
So even if you do make a mistake, you can balance it out later?
Absolutely. And the whole concept is, people, the worst thing to work against you is to think, I'm going to go on this diet, I'm just going to stay on it until I lose these 50 pounds. We know that's not going to happen. So we need to know that we're going to take a couple steps forward, we're going to take one back. But if all that is in your planning and all in your mind to start, you can anticipate and break those patterns when they start throwing you off track.
You're clearly an expert on this topic. Share with me some of your personal background.
Absolutely. Well, I actually was a business guy for a dozen years, having a business doing business services. But then 6 years ago, I had a kidney transplant, and it was one of those things. Really, I woke up one morning a couple months later, and the light bulb went off and said, business is great, I love it, but I need to do something to really help people directly. So I started with my own challenge. I was about 25 pounds overweight, and if I ate the wrong foods, I get these terrible gout pains. So I said, somehow I have to help myself and other people with this. I went to Barnes & Noble. I'm looking at all these books and say, how could there be so many diet books that's not working for people? And the light bulb went off. It's not what to eat, it's how do we stay on the diet. So Diet Success Strategies may be the only book ever written on how to stay on a diet.
Great. Where can we find your book?
Well, it's on Barnes & Noble online and Amazon online and at the website.
What an epiphany and such a powerful approach that it's more the strategies. It doesn't really probably matter which diet you use as long as you have the right strategies behind it.
Well, that's the key. More and more plans come out, eat this, don't eat that. We all have to some, and not to, yeah, and the information is important, but it shouldn't be the focus for 95% of the information on diet. We all have some extent what to eat. It's how do you balance it? How do you balance what you want to eat and what you should eat? And then once you make that plan, how do you stay on it?
Alan, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.